So imagine you drop, like, thousands of dollars on a pristine 4K projector, right? You painstakingly run this 50-foot HDMI cable all the way through your ceiling, only to turn it on and realize that long cable is, well, secretly destroying your video quality.
Oh, yeah. The image cuts out or the colors just look totally washed out. It's incredibly frustrating.
Exactly. And that's what we call the classic long cable problem. I mean, standard HDMI is basically like a short garden hose. Up close, it works beautifully, but if you stretch it too far, that water pressure just drops to a mere trickle.
Right, because you're trying to push all this high bandwidth data too far over a standard wire, and the signal integrity just kind of collapses.
So our mission for today's deep dive is to actually solve that exact problem. We're looking at spec sheets and technical manuals from HDTVSupply's catalog, specifically focusing on this one highly specific fix. It's the DVDO T4K-70-CC HDMI extender.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating because this device is designed to just ditch the long HDMI entirely. It pushes 4K video over cheap, standard internet cables instead.
Which sounds crazy, right? But it's not just some brute force amplifier. Going back to that garden hose analogy, it's not just trying to, like, pump water harder through a leaky pipe.
No, it fundamentally changes the delivery method. It takes that massive continuous river of uncompressed 4K video and precisely converts it into these highly efficient digital packets.
So it's essentially freezing the water into ice cubes, right? And then shooting them down a cheap plastic pipe at high speed.
Exactly. And then it perfectly reconstructs the signal, instantly melting it back into a perfect stream at the exact same pressure on the other end.
And it does all this over standard SAT-6 or SAT-7 cables. But wait, I mean, packing that much data into internet cables usually demands a compromise, doesn't it?
You would think so, yeah. But the spec sheets actually show this unit transmitting flawless 4K video at a smooth 60 frames per second over distances up to 230 feet, with basically zero noticeable delay.
Wait, really? Zero delay. But what about, like, high-end movie formats? If I'm watching a massive blockbuster, does it have to compress the rich HDR colors or scale back the surround sound to fit down that Ethernet pipe?
It actually doesn't have to compromise at all. Because it packetizes the data so efficiently, it maintains full support for HDR10. So your contrast and colors stay incredibly deep.
Oh, wow. And the audio.
It carries the heaviest uncompressed audio formats out there. We're talking Dolby Atmos, DTS, HD, LPCM. You keep the absolute premium home theater experience.
That is wild. And just running on infrastructure that costs pennies per foot? Okay, so that perfectly covers, the guy setting up a projector in his basement. But what about scale?
Right, like commercial setups.
Yeah, exactly. Because sports bars don't just have one TV 200 feet away. They have an entire wall of them. So how do we go from a single lawn line to a massive network?
Well, this is where a feature called category loopout comes into play. The receiver unit sitting behind the television actually allows you to plug in another Ethernet cable and simply bounce the signal to the next receiver.
So you can just digital daisy chain them.
Yep. You can cascade up to 10 of these receivers together from a single source. And at each stop, the receiver has a dedicated SPDIF optical audio output.
Oh, so you can easily strip the sound away from the video right there?
Exactly. And route it straight into an independent soundbar or amplifier for that specific zone.
Okay, but wait. Daisy chaining used to be a total nightmare for mixed hardware setups. Like, if I string together 10 displays and 9 are top-of-the-line 4K TVs, but one of them is, a cheaper 1080p model in the back room, doesn't that ruin the 4K for everyone else?
Older splitters used to panic and do exactly that, downgrade the whole chain. But the technical manuals detail a built-in automatic downscaling function specifically to prevent that.
Oh, really? How does that work?
The system independently reads what each specific TV can handle and adapts on the fly. So in those massive multi-screen matrix setups that HDTVSupply frequently outfits, the 4K screens get pristine 4K, the 1080p screen gets 1080p, and nobody gets throttled.
That is brilliant.
It really is. Plus, the entire chain supports bi-directional infrared control.
Meaning what exactly for the user?
It means you can grab a remote control in any room along that daisy chain, point it at the TV, and it will instantly control the Blu-ray player or cable box sitting 200 feet away at the start of the chain.
That's incredible. So we're talking about professional tier, multi-room AV distribution that autocorrects for different screens, preserves high-end audio, and gives you total remote control all over basic internet cables.
Yeah, and at $299 with free shipping in the US, this device makes high-end professional installations completely accessible to standard users.
It totally shifts the paradigm. Which leaves you with something pretty wild to think about. I mean, If we can currently push zero latency 4K video, Dolby Atmos, and device control across a cascade of 10 screens using standard internet cables.
Makes you wonder.
Exactly. Will traditional dedicated AV cables eventually go completely extinct in our homes? Are we ever going to need to buy that specialized garden hose again, or is this digital pump station just the only setup that matters now? Definitely something to keep in mind the next time you're trying to stretch a cable across your living room.